was standing at the corner of Kossuth Road. I was just daydreaming, and also wondering why people were thanking me as they turned the corner in their cars. Then I realised there was a new law. It's just been made up by the government. Drivers were supposed to stop if you were standing at the corner, so it would allow you to cross the road. We have some silly laws in the UK. Okay, maybe stop for elderly people or kids. I was still standing there and was approaching the corner, what looked to be an old Escort XR3i. But it looked brand new. It was black. It looked like it was the original coat that was still in the car. It looked brand new. I'm not just a driver. He had a black hat on. Looked like a trooper. He looked at me with a hard stare, and he smiled. He took out what looked to be a BlackBerry phone. He pointed it at me, pointed it at my eyes, and there was a flash, and everything turned white. There was nothing but white. I felt woozy. I was losing the grip of my dog lead. I felt like I was melting. All I could see was whiteness. Then it turned to blackness. I could hear voices. It sounded like two kids. They were talking about the way I was dressed and if I was alright. They asked me if I was alright, and I says yeah. Then I realised there's no dog lead in my hand. Where was my dog? I suddenly panicked. Where's my dog? The kid looked at me, he says, we haven't seen any dog with you. I says, are you sure? He says, no, you were lying here on the street on your own. I still felt woozy, but the adrenaline kicked in. I started to panic. Where's my dog? I walked away from the boys. They were just staring at me. What was going on? As I walked past the houses, they looked different. There were more gardens than block paved drives, and all the cars looked old. They looked cars that reminded me of from the 80s. What the hell was going on? I couldn't believe it. There's something going on here. There were Escorts, Sierras, Ford Cortinas, old Sierras, Metros. What was going on? Was I in the 80s? Was I back in the 80s? I walked down the street just a couple of hours today, and it did not look like this. Was I in a dream? Did I woke up in a dream? This was bizarre. I noticed people were dressed, and there were kids on the street playing gutter ball. That's not something I've seen since I was a kid myself. I looked at this one kid. I asked him, kid, do you know what day it is? He says, no. And then this other kid says, yeah, it's the 19th. I says, of what month? He just looked at me and said, it's September. Okay, thanks. I replied, what year is it? He replied, are you stupid? He It's 1987. He's looking at me like I'd gone mad. I thought I had gone mad. I recognised one of these kids. He looked very familiar to me. He was a bit younger than me. I think he used to play with my brother. He asked me if I was alright. I said, yeah, I'm fine. I was not fine. I was in a dream. Was it a dream? And I'd gone back in time? And there was that man with the hat and the escort. It started to get dark. I was bewildered. I didn't know how I felt. I've never felt like this before. Never experienced anything like this before. I did not know what to do. Where was my dog? What about my wife? Oh no. How do I get back to her? I decided to walk back to my house, where I lived. I walked up to the street. Everything just looked different. Familiar, but old. I got back to my house. It looked different. There were flowers in the garden. We'd never had flowers in the garden. Just never got round to it. We had this old Victorian style light, but it never worked. But it was working now. I looked through the people, looked through the window, and there were different people living in my house. It just felt strange. I realised this was my house, but in the wrong time. I did not know where to go. I could not go back. How am I going to get back? I decided to walk through the dark streets, not knowing what to do. I walked past my parents' old house. The curtains were drawn. I saw the light from the TV. I saw a big shadow sit up and walk away. That was my dad. I looked up there and there was a little light in my old room. I guess I was reading with the lamp on. I felt this mixed emotions. I also felt like I was an illegal alien. I was an illegal alien visiting a different time. A time I was not supposed to be in. Because technically I was already there. But I was 14. And I really realised this is no dream. What the hell is going on? I just walked and walked straight till I came to the park. It still remains to this day, but now a different playing apparatus. I sat on the graffiti covered bench. I thought to myself, what the hell is going on? How do I get back to the time I was supposed to be living in? I could hear voices. I could not believe it. It was my sister-in-law to be. She was talking as usual. She could never stop talking. Then my heart dropped. My future wife was looking at me. I looked at her and she said, "Oh, sorry. I thought you were someone else." Did you think it was me? God, I had aged. She looked so beautiful. She still was beautiful. I'd aged nearly 35 years. I just smiled at her. It was a funny feeling. Was I dead? And was life flashing before me? This is what you experience when you die. But how could I be dead? I'd spoken to people. I was hungry and thirsty, so I knew I couldn't be dead. I hadn't smoked in hours either. I had money on me, and I had £8 coins and £20 note. I realised the £20 note was plastic, completely different to the notes that they used in this time. The notes were still paper. I decided to look at the coins. I couldn't see them properly, so I walked to a telephone box. There were coins from the year 2000, from 1997, 1991, 1995, 2009. I thought, they won't notice. It's not that I'm robbing them, just giving them coins from a different time. I walked into the shop. I had a really nostalgic feeling. I could not believe the price of things. Everything was so cheap. The shop had no food. It was off license. Just sold alcohol, cigarettes, soft drinks, crisps and chocolates. I brought prawn cocktails, skips, pork scratchings, chocolate milk and 4 fudgies. I decided to buy some cigarettes. I brought 10 Embassy No. 1 because that was the first cigarettes I used to smoke. I also had a box of matches. I remembered the lady, but remembered her husband more. I walked back to the park. I was walking back to the graffiti covered bench and I suddenly froze. I saw a gang of lads. One of them was me. I recognised the way I walked and the blue denim shirt I was wearing. I could not believe I was looking at myself. I did not know why. It just felt strange to be looking at yourself from the past. I decided to look away. I did not know why, but it seemed the right thing to do. I remained sitting on the bench. I didn't know how to feel. Was I supposed to enjoy this experience? Or was I supposed to just get out of here? How was I going to go back into my own time? Was I missing? People knew that I'd gone away? Or was everything frozen and just waiting for me to go back and then everything would melt and carry on? I don't know what the hell I was thinking. How could I go back in time? And how did I get here in the first place? My brain started to hurt. I decided to eat. Made me feel a little bit better. But then I smoked a cigarette. Made me feel woozy. Cigarette tasted strong. I only half finished it and threw it away. I saw another group of voices. So I heard another group of voices. I saw a group of young lads who I recognised. Almost still my old friend to this day. I just looked and smiled. They just looked at me, walked right past me. I felt like I was in the Twilight Zone. I felt like I'm going mad. Okay, get your head into gear. It was getting cold. Where am I going to sleep? I thought about the garages. There was 4 rows of garages that were provided for people who lived in the flats. I was looking over the garages. I thought maybe there's a garage that's not being used. Maybe I could sleep there. As I walked towards the garages, I passed a house, and I always remembered that this house was always unoccupied. It was owned by a couple. They used to stay there very briefly, but were supposed to be working away. Nobody knew what they did. There did not seem to be anyone at home. I walked into the garden. Hoping that the house would be empty. But then I saw the light go on. It was strange. But there was a man in the house that did not belong there, who did not live there. What was his name? That's it. Eddie the Slaphead. He was a creepy old man, with a big forehead, and his middle finger was missing. My brother once told me he asked him how he lost that finger. He said he lost it in a carpentry accident. What was he doing here in this couple's house? I moved to the window and I looked a little bit closer. His middle finger was still there, so I looked at his other hand and his middle finger was still up there as well. Strange. That was Eddie. Horrible old bastard. Never liked him. Could not work out why I never liked him. Tried to talk to him once, but he just looked me up and down, this smug smile on his face. And he had this look in his eyes that made me hate him. He was wearing a waterproof coat and waterproof trousers. What was he up to? It was not raining. Was he going fishing? He went into the living room and came back into the kitchen. He opened up this door. It looked like a cellar door. The light came on and he disappeared into the light. Next thing you know, I saw him walking back. I could hear him shouting. I could not hear what he was saying. But it looked like he got a kid. Now this kid looked familiar. Who was he? It was John Paul. John Paul II. He used to play with my brother. What was he doing with him? I went straight to the door, but the handle wouldn't open. I started to look round into the garden to find something to break the window with, but there was nothing there. Nothing at all. I didn't know what to do. What was I going to do? Then he came towards the door and he opened it. He was putting tape around John Paul's mouth. I could not believe it. The door was open. I decided to surprise him. He turned round to the kid. He said, "You better be quiet." The kid was just shouting back at him, but not making any noise, because the tape was off his mouth. He started to walk towards the door. He walked, put his foot over the threshold, put his other foot onto the slab. His face was right in mine. I punched him straight into the jaw. He went down. The kid looked at me. I took the tape off his mouth. I said, "You okay?" He just couldn't stop breathing heavy. I could not believe it. This was John Paul. He went missing when I was 14. He used to play with my brother. He asked me to cut him loose. So I went to the drawer. I got a knife. I cut him loose. Eddie was still lying there. I said to John Paul, "Go and find a phone and call the police." He went into the living room. He must have found the phone because I could hear him speaking. He shouted, "What address is it?" I told him the address. He came back to me. He says, "How do you know my name?" I said, "I just know you. I've known you for a long time." He says, "I don't know you." I says, "You will, don't worry." That Eddie had his bag with him. I opened the bag. There was cable ties, tape, rope, and knife gloves. I put the cable ties around his hands and taped his legs up and tied his hands together. John Paul says, "I want to bite his fingers off." I said, "Why do you want to bite his fingers off?" He said, "I just want to bite his fingers off, I don't know why." It's only dawned on me. Was that how he had his finger missing? John was able to bite his finger off before he murdered John. Now John was alive, and Eddie still had his finger. I could hear sirens. I started to panic. I said, "Look, John, I've got to get out of here." He says, "Why?" I says, "Look, I'm not supposed to be here." He says, "What do you mean I'm not supposed to be here?" I said, "I'm not supposed to be here." I could hear the police cars pulling up. I jumped over the fence. I said, "Please don't tell them." He grabbed my hand. He said, "Thank you. Thank you so much." I said, "No worries." I ran. I ran. I hid behind this old pub. Just didn't know what to do. I felt happy that I just saved somebody. I was in the wrong place at the wrong time. I decided to smoke a cigarette. I smoked it all this time. I seem to enjoy it badly. I waited for a couple of hours. Then I walked towards the park. It didn't feel cold no more. I felt happy. I went to this bush where I used to sit when I was a kid. I just sat there. I felt nostalgic. I put my head on the grass and I fell asleep. I woke up in the morning, saw a man walking his dog. Wondered about my own dog. Was he okay? What had happened to him? How the hell did I get here? How long have I been asleep? It was getting light. I decided to walk to the garages. I saw all the graffiti on the walls and then by the garages. Whoever sprayed this graffiti was a good artist. There were breakdancing Smurfs and Weetabix men dressed as breakdancers, Zulu Nation hand signs, Rocksteady Crew, Crazy Legs sprayed in colour, 4 block letters. I just looked at it, amazed like I always was amazed by it. I used to stare at it all the time. I decided to look more because I knew 7 years from now these garages will be knocked down and houses will be rebuilt. I always loved it here. It was like the playground and there were happy memories here. It just made me so small. I was happy, like a kid again. I just had this lovely feeling in my stomach. It just melted my brain. Then, sound of a car. It was the black XR3 3i Ford Escort. I was not bothered about this car no more. I was not bothered about the driver. I was not bothered about his black hat either. I wondered where my dog was, and I just wanted to go home. He got out of the car, smiling. Hello, sir. How are you? Why am I here? Where's my dog? You smart, get in the car. I'm going to take you back where you belong, and you can see your dog. Is my dog okay? Yes, he replied. Where is he though, he said. I said, he's frozen in time. What do you mean he's frozen? Just get in the car, Sam. I looked at the graffiti. He says, you like this graffiti? Yes, I said. I was regretting not taking any photos. He smiled, held a briefcase, pulled out a very old looking camera, and said, snap away. You can only snap 14 photos. That's all he will allow. There was a lever on the camera. Push it down every time you snap. I just took pictures, as many as I could. says to him, do you have a name? He says, no. So what do you mean? No. He says, my name is 14. I'm an overseer. Okay, Mr. 14. What is an overseer? He says, I oversee things. Oversee what? He said, I can't tell you. But what I will say is, thank you for your service. What service? I got into the car, gave him the camera, put it back into the briefcase. He took me to the corner of Kossuth Road again. Told me to get out. He picked up this BlackBerry phone, what looked like a BlackBerry phone. He said, smile. I smiled. It became white. Felt nice. Then it was black. I was lying on the floor. I could see my dog. He was looking at me. He was licking my face. I was so happy. I cut up. I was stroking him. You okay? His tail was wagging. The man across the street says, you okay, mate? He says, yeah, I'm fine, I'm fine. He says, what happened? I said, I don't know. I think I fell over. It had been in a dream. I felt woozy, but relieved and happy. I was back in my old time. I walked up to the street. Saw the dog. I felt happy. I felt so happy. I put my hand in my pockets. There's no cigarettes, no matches. I felt strange. My money was there. Guess I brought those cigarettes in the past and they remained in the past. I wonder who picked them up. Who cares? When I get back home, I put the key in the door, expecting my wife to say, where have you been all night? I saw her. She says, you were quick. I just looked at her. I says, I was quick. But what? She says, where's the butter? I just looked at her. She says, Sam, you were supposed to go to the shop to get me some butter. I forgot. How long have I been gone? She looked at me and says, you've been gone 2 minutes. This felt strange. She says, Sam, what's the matter with you? You okay? She says, yeah, I just feel a bit weird. You sure you're okay, babe? Yeah, I'm fine. I'll go and get the butter. I decided to leave the dog in the house. I was just wandering down the road. What had happened to me? Then I saw the XR3i, Ford Escort again. He stopped. He gave me some photos. They were pictures of the graffiti that I had taken. He said, thank you again, and here's your photos. Take care, son. I'll see you again. I just walked away. Then another car stopped. It was a man I did not know. He asked me how I was. I says, "Who are you?" I said, "John Paul." "John Paul II." He says, "Yeah." "Sorry, yeah, sorry mate." My head's a bit. He just looked at me and started laughing and drove away. The end.